Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Julie. Hope you're doing good. I'm not in my usual setup today because I'm not in Napa, but we're making it work. You're on the barbecue right now, and I am in beautiful Southern California where you can breathe. Look at that, you can take a really deep breath. Anyway, I hope you're all doing good. I'm gonna back up because I have some things to show you today. So if you're on there, say hi to me. Good morning, Heidi, great to see you. Good morning, Jody. Hey, what's up? So, you know, one of our favorite TV shows that we love to watch, I would love to hear what your favorite TV show is. So I was thinking that, make sure you write me your favorite TV show in the comments because I wanna know. But one of our favorite TV shows that we love to watch is called Forged in Fire. Does anybody else watch that? Good morning, Damien. Nice to see you. Hey, babe. One of our favorite TV shows that we love to watch is called Forged in Fire. And the crazy thing, what they do, and now Damien and I are like, we want to be blacksmiths. Because what they do is they take something like this. So they will have like if you've never seen it, they'll have a crazy challenge. They'll be like, here's some wrought iron fence, or here's some lawnmower blades, or here's some rusty shovels. And they take something that looks like this, and they have to make something beautiful out of it. Right? And so the process is kind of long, and we love the show, but it's so cool seeing these men do their craftsman thing and like create and work these things out. I have an audience, so I'm like, hi. And so this rusty shovel is kind of what they might start off with. And they might take something like this blade, and then they would put it into the forge. And the forge is, I think, somewhere around 1600, 1800 degrees, if I remember correctly. Good morning, Dave. And they put it into the forge, and they let it get so hot. And it comes in, it's glowing red, and sometimes white. And the process of getting that thing so hot begins to soften this piece of metal. Right? It begins to allow it to be shapeable. It begins to allow it to be moldable. And then they're hammering it and they're applying the pressure. And then what happens is after that, they have kind of a crude, like maybe they have this, but it looks more square. You know, it's a really crude knife. Like you wouldn't cut anything with it. It's just like a more towards the shape of the knife. And then the next phase is then they take the grinder and then they grind that thing down. They grind out the edges, and then they grind out all the imperfections. They grind out the cracks. They grind out the imperfections that have risen to the surface, and they take them down, and they spend sometimes like hours grinding these knives so that they can create something beautiful and useful. And at the end of those hours, a lot of times what they'll come up with is something like this. Isn't this gorgeous? This is a Cutco knife from my friends Ileana and Tom loaned it to me, but they'll come out with something like this. Something that is beautiful. See, there you are. Can you see your reflection in the napkins? Something that is useful. And then they begin to use it for all these crazy tests, like chopping pigs in half, pig carcasses in half, or slicing how many apples they can slice in a row, or stabbing into paint cans, or chopping antlers, or chopping wood. You gotta watch it to get all these tests that they do. But what it shows is that by the end of the show, what they're looking at is the blade. They're looking at how hard is the blade. Does it become deformed when they chop into an antler? Does it become deformed when they chop into the wood? Or does it serve its purpose? And I wanted to talk to you this morning about that process, because a lot of us are in the process of the fire, right? Some of us are in the forge. I'll tell you that we are burning up, and you feel like you're burning up. You are in the heat, you're in the pressure, you are feeling this, but it's great because it's softening your hearts and it's changing us. I mean, when you go through something like the Napa fires or the hurricane or 9/11 or something like that, we find a different level of compassion, right? We are being changed and softened as we go through these things. And so, the fires is what makes us able to be malleable. It's what it makes us able to be changed and to become something beautiful and useful. And then what about if you're in the stage of grinding? You're in that stage where God is just grinding out those imperfections in you. It hurts and it's hard work and the sparks are flying because you're like, you know, and maybe it's like a friend that God is really rubbing off those rough edges of you to show you how to deal with people compassionately. Or maybe, you know, you're going through something with your spouse where you guys, you know, whatever, you're working through something and those edges are being ground off. You're in the grinding phase, the refining phase. And then maybe you're getting to the useful phase. Some of you are getting to this phase right now after the fire, after the heat, after the grinding, where you have a beautiful, useful tool. And you are this tool that in the hands of the master becomes almost a deadly weapon because you know how to cut. You know how to cut to the places that need to be cut. You are strong. You are able. You are laser focused. You're pinpointed on what you're going to do. I have little Knox over here. Hi, Benjamin. You have little Knox. You're pinpointed into what you want to do, and you have become, through the fire, through the grinding, through all of that process, you have become something that is of so much value. Now, this is a tool, right? And this is a tool. But which one am I going to use for precision? This is a great tool for digging, and it's useful, and it's a good place to start. But if I'm looking for something that wants to make an impact in the world, I'm going to look at something like this. This is something that's versatile. It can be used in the kitchen. It can be used to chop wood. It can be used to carve spoons out of woods. If you were alone by yourself in the woods, you could carve an instrument with something like this. It is amazing what you can do with one little piece of steel that maybe started out as a rusty old shovel and ends up being something beautiful and precise and able and capable and strong to withstand all the things that it's going to have to cut through. And I just want to tell you this morning, you guys are being forged in the fire, and some of you, God is making you into an instrument like this, where He can use you to do incredible things. Don't despise the fire. Don't despise the heat, because it's doing something beautiful inside of you. And I don't mean like the natural fires. In some ways they are, because they're creating this generosity that we're seeing. I'm loving seeing people use their gifts and talents, like the guy who was making the ash sifters, and a friend who's a fashion stylist, and she said, hey, I'm going to San Francisco. If you ladies need underwear, let me know, you know, and I'm gonna buy it for you. And you know, I'm loving seeing people use their gifts. And that is what is happening in the fire. You are becoming a precision instrument. You are becoming a useful and beautiful and valuable thing. So don't despise the fires. Don't despise the trials of your life. Don't despise the pressure that you're under, because they are creating something very beautiful in you. And I hope you guys have an awesome week. Hey, good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Tara. I see you. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I'll probably be back to Napa this week, and I'm so grateful for our friends Tom and Eliana. They're letting me stay here and see so many good friends and breathe some clean air. It's really amazing. And thank you, God, that the fires are going out, and we've been able to get the air support to put them out. So many good reports coming out of Napa. But anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome week. Let yourself be molded into something like this. Even if you feel like this, you are being changed into this. And I want you to submit to that process and work through it. And let yourself be used, and let yourself be useful, and let yourself become a precision instrument that is used for good and for glory. I love you guys. I hope you have an awesome, amazing week full of good news. I am saying good news over you today. And may your minds be fierce and your hearts be strong and your spirit be exceedingly kind this week. Remember to have compassion. People are hurting and people are struggling. So let's have extra compassion this week, okay? I love you all. Mwah, Debbie, you're so welcome. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye, guys.